Men of Reddit, what was something you didn't know about women till you got with one? I remember reading anatomy books and sex ed books after I started dating my first girlfriend. I knew everything to expect. I had a plan of attack. We were going to do it right. However, there was one thing I didn't take into consideration. Girl jeans are extremely tight, like suction to their legs. So obviously, I was trying to assist with removal. There is like a point though where the suction stops and all of a sudden you're in free fall. Like from the lower thigh to the ankle, they can come unspooled like a striking cobra. I fell off the bed from the recoil and landed on and broke the bedside table. We told her mom it was the dog. I never knew what soft sheets felt like until I spent the night with a girl for the first time. Who knew what thread count was? Women. Women know. Most men do not. I was 17 and remember laying in her bed and was like, why the fuck is this bed as soft as a cloud? She laughed and just thought I was being super funny. When she laid in my bed, she understood. My sheets felt like cardboard by comparison. That's when she taught me about thread count for sheets. Such an eye-opener. Haven't exactly gotten with one, but I did realize when I started to get close with some of my girls in my late teens that sometimes girls just want to vent without actually wanting a solution. I really started trying to socialize in my teens, but that was mostly with guys, and I feel like when talking with guys, besides joking around and talking shit, we're just like bouncing ideas around. But with a girl, you just need to be a listening ear and be on their side. Give solutions or suggestions only when requested. Now, even my sisters and mom come to me to vent, which they never did to me growing up, but to be honest, I'm not complaining. I'm a low-key guy, so I don't like to get into drama, but I do like listening to other people's drama, lol. Married father of two in the UK here. I'm going to repeat a few points by others, but here goes. After watching my wife give birth twice, I learned that they are tough in a way that I cannot comprehend. Like, actual, I'm going to look Mother Nature square in the eye, understand exactly what's going to happen to me, experience permanent, unexpected changes to my body, and then just take it. Twice. The world is not set up for women, and they do have to take on additional pressures, difficulties, expenses, and, frankly, dangers that men don't even have to think about. I could write so much about this, but I think women and most men understand what I mean. They all have a viciously transformative life event waiting for them that men just can't comprehend. Menopause. My wife is starting to experience it, and it's the most distressing thing she's ever experienced. Depression, anxiety, anger, confusion. It's just unfair they have to go through with it. When you marry one, they somehow get constantly sexier throughout the time you're with them. It's really quite amazing. A quick list of the obvious. They seem to be able to see more colors than me. A house isn't a home until a woman gets her hands on it. With kids, mother really does know best, and it's the thought that counts. And finally, all together now, they are just so goddamn soft. Women are the best. Find one whose ideas of sanity match yours and marry her. You won't regret it. All the best from Newcastle in the UK, well, Sherwood Forest Center Parks, we're away for the weekend. I had always thought that the casual harassment that women go through was almost mythical, like voter fraud, you know? Probably happens sometimes, but not with any of the frequency that is statistically significant. Then I started talking to women and dating women. Bruh, dudes will do all sorts of crazy shit. Dumb, juvenile shit, like rev up their trucks with lift kits to try to impress my date. What's pretty crazy about these behaviors is that they're obviously not doing it to compete with me. These behaviors ignore that I even exist. She's the target. What really drove it home is when I was having a little party and my next door neighbor came to the fence while I was grilling outside, acting all excited and buddy-buddy. He said he was about to grill too, and he said we should kick back and share beers and shit. At first, I was like, whatever, but then I found out that he was only interested for the shot he thought he could take at my female guests. When I brought up that he had suggested the idea, they quickly said they didn't want him there because he was whistling at them as they passed his house and asked them creepy shit like, "You ladies looking for a good time?" Little things matter. They may be small and insignificant to us, but they mean the world to them. Years into a relationship, the girl I was with told me that taking and squeezing her hand in a movie got her excited. Small gifts here and there on random days and times are fun and keep things light and fun. Be sincere and don't lie. Trust is the foundation for any relationship. The more I read this, the more I realize that it's more just general relationship advice regardless of the genders. What my father told me was, no matter what you do in life, have fun. I live and love by that. So far, 10 years married and have a 5-year-old child. How to properly treat a woman as a partner. By that I mean, I had no idea to be in a relationship and treat a partner. I grew up in a conservative family where my father was extremely demeaning to my mother, and it was not much different for aunts and uncles. I ruined my relationship with the love of my life. That being said, I spent the last 13 years of my life learning from the mistakes I made, so that if I ever get a love like that again, I will not ruin it again. It haunts me to this day, but I'm okay with that because it is an extremely hard lesson I needed to learn and never forget. I didn't abuse her at all in case it comes across that way. I didn't pay attention to her when the going got tough financially and just retreated into my work, school, and hobbies when the recession hit. She needed me, and I wasn't there. 5 things really shocked me. Number 1, vaginal discharge essentially comes standard with vaginas and isn't necessarily a sign of a vaginal issue. 2, women love unscented wet wipes. Keep some wet ones in your bathroom, gentlemen. Number 3, women get hit on like 10 times more than you think is possible. This should be in the back of your mind both when it's inappropriate, took me a while, but I realized I probably shouldn't hit on ladies at work and let them enjoy their workday without getting hit on by coworkers, and when the time is right. Know that when you are hitting on that lady in the bar that you are not the first to do it, and will not be the last. Number 4, simply not coming off as a creeper gets you a good 60% of the way there. When I actively read desperately, LOL, pursued women, I couldn't get laid if my life depended on it. As soon as I stopped being a creeper, went with the flow, and became someone who projected safety and stability, women started hitting on me. Which leads me to number 5. Women want and need stability and safety from the men in their lives. You should have all of adult basics down and do them consistently without being reminded or asked. Finances, personal hygiene, mental hygiene, etc. That's a part of being stable. Spontaneous is good, but being reliable is more appreciated. Strike a balance between the two. You should also make the people around you feel safe. Don't be a creeper. Establish boundaries and take care not to violate other people's boundaries. Ask for permission before invading someone's personal space. Know your audience before you let that edgy joke fly. This is how you become a safe person to hang around. Be reliable and safe. And more people, especially women, will want to be in your presence. It will make you a better friend, boyfriend, father, husband, brother, you name it. How human they are. Before I had my first girlfriend, even though my brain knew better, I was still surprised that they had morning breath, got sick, vomited, they eat, sleep, and shit the same way we do, and more. I learned about how crazy periods are, how even they were grossed out by some of the weird shit that came out of their bodies every 28 days. My emotional fear of women evaporated. They live and breathe on this planet the same way we do. Society and the media have dehumanized so much in popular culture as to make them brain-damaged, subservient creatures or immortal, perfect sex goddesses. I realized how brainwashed I really was. Like I said, I knew all this stuff before, but there is a difference between being told a truth and actually living it. It was going back a long way, but growing up I sort of swallowed the men and women are so different thing. The men are from Mars, women are from Venus stuff, except it was decades before that was written. When I actually got to know a real woman and be intimate with them, it was obvious that it was just nonsense. Women are as variable as men, and the things you have in common with them are far more than what they are different. Society has built contexts that make it look different, and you are told they are different in millions of ways, and we start to accept it as truth. Women are just people with a tiny number of biological differences and a whole lot of social differences imposed on them. Get away from the socially imposed stuff, and they are just as much like you as most men are, and more so than many other men. That women really do treat you like a serial killer until you've proven yourself worthy of trust. My girlfriend is not used to me being empathetic, so during COVID, I asked her, hey, since you're working from home, you should have a desk. I'll set one up for you and you can work at a desk. She then proceeds to say, no, it's okay, I'll work on the couch/bed. I went to IKEA and bought her a desk. She's like, I didn't ask you to buy one for me. Why did you buy one for me, etc., etc. She straight up blew up at me saying, why don't I respect her wishes? She didn't want a desk. Why did you do this for me? Etc., etc. A month later of using it, she's like, you're right. The desk really helps working from home. Rinse and repeat for the extra monitor, the office chair, a better mouse than the small travel mouse, a mechanical keyboard, the footpad, the shelf. I asked her, why do you ever accept anything when I ask you? But ultimately, I'm noticing your struggle and offering to help you with a solution. Her answer was, I'm not used to people doing nice things for me. I don't want to owe anyone anything, so you offering it means you want something. What the fuck? I've never asked her or have her owed me anything in the 3 years prior, so it's ingrained into her that she has to deprogram herself. I'll say the stupidest one, but this is true for me. Women are just men with tits. I know men have tits, but this is just a general rule. We grow up in a society where we are taught by cartoons, books, media, day-by-day interactions, etc., that women and men are different. They act differently and want different things. Bullshit. While there are some small differences, mostly by nurture and not nature, we are basically the same. Once idiot 16-year-old me stopped thinking about girls as unicorns was a good moment. Women don't dress up for guys' attention, at least not always. A lot of it has to do with them wanting to feel pretty for themselves. It makes them feel better. This isn't something crazy, but I didn't care about my appearance at the time and thought the only reason a woman would dress up would be to get the attention of guys. I liked having a girlfriend. It gave me a lot of insight into those kinds of things that I couldn't understand because of my own bias and limited perspective. Attractive women are absolutely nothing like how men make them out to be. In very blatant terms, my girlfriend is hot. Part Jamaican, part Chinese. All natural, top to bottom. And if it isn't men out in public hitting on her, it's friends of mine hesitantly trying to find ways to tell me that she's hot. But no disrespect, bro. I see the way guys stare at her butt, and I know how they interact with her, but enough of that. You get the point. With that said, however, I grew up believing that hot girls would cheat on you. I was groomed to believe that she was always looking for the next dick to ride and will flirt behind your back, and so much worse. Of course, I had female friends who were beautiful and weren't pieces of crap in the slightest, but I never took it for truth as far as dating went. I only looked at who I was bringing home, and it wasn't until I met my girlfriend now that I realized, holy shit, every man can want to fuck her brains out, and she will always treat it fairly and come home to love the shit out of me. I'm a good-looking guy, so I think and have been told, but I have one friend who saw her twice and both times cracked the same joke. So is it your money or do you have a big dick? To which I'd reply, I live in a basement apartment. It's funny, but my girlfriend hates it because she hates being viewed as some shallow woman who's only with me for material things when it's the opposite. She also hates it when people underestimate that I'm a really good boyfriend for her in general. Obviously, attraction matters, and it's there without a doubt, but what's keeping us going so strong for the past few years is the genuine love and connection we have as friends and lovers. I will admit that once upon a time, I didn't think attractive women cared about that stuff, and I hate to admit that I know it now at the age of 26. Vaginas are acidic, to the point it fucks up their underwear. I had no clue about this until my wife and I moved in together. It's completely normal. A normal vaginal pH is between 3.8 and 5. A pH level within this range can help to keep bacterial and fungal infections at bay. This range is also moderately acidic. What is considered a normal vaginal pH level varies by age. A woman of reproductive age would have a normal vaginal pH between 4.0 and 4.5, while women who have yet to begin menstruating or are postmenopausal may have a normal vaginal pH higher than 4.5. Lactobacilli bacteria live in the vagina and secrete lactic acid and hydrogen peroxide, which give the vagina its acidic pH level. All of my life, if someone complained about a problem, my response was to think of and offer solutions. That's how you help and show you care. If I have a problem, I welcome ideas on how to fix it. Women don't necessarily work the same way. There are times she just wants you to listen and not try to fix it. Replace maybe don't hang out with Karen with, man, Karen sure can be a bitch sometimes. That women are horny and love sex. I mean, intellectually I knew this, but I feel like society pushes a narrative that sex is something men want and women need to be convinced to do. Well, by now I've had several relationships where she wanted sex more and more often than me.
It sometimes still surprises me. Too much 90s TV as a kid, I guess. I grew up thinking girls actually tinkled when they went pee. Then in high school, I was in my girlfriend's bedroom when she went to the bathroom, and I heard the full stream. I was floored. We hadn't done anything up to that point, so I briefly wondered if she had a penis? I feel really stupid about this one. Honestly, I didn't realize that women were denied getting tubes tied because your husband may want later, and that kind of crap. I know when I tried to get my vasectomy, I was told essentially the same, but as I was joining the military, I honestly figured it was just a military thing, you know? And as an idiot kid, I didn't even bother asking. When my first serious girlfriend mentioning wanting to get it done, and I responded, well, that's your choice, why don't you? That led to a fun conversation. Haha answer, she radiates heat at night, an absolute furnace, and she loves to cuddle and I love her. I'm hot a lot. Serious sad answer, several years into living together, she decided to remove her IUD and started getting periods again. Early on in that process, I learned how embarrassed she was about having a period and all that it entailed. One day I offered to grab her tampons at the grocery and she broke down crying. She was worried that I found her gross now. It broke my heart. It's terrible how we treat women as a society. Her hair is everywhere. I go to work, take a dump, wipe my ass, there's my wife's hair. Also, fucking hell, y'all go through a lot of toilet paper. When I was single, I didn't buy TP but maybe 3 times a year from Costco. Now, fuck, we never have TP. Put a new roll in the bathroom and 3/4 of it just fucking vanishes before my eyes. How swayed the country is with women's bodies. My wife gets angry when she sees commercials for Roman and other boner pills, but she has to see a doctor, get a prescription, and get all sorts of hormonal side effects for birth control, not to mention all the bullshit since Roe v. Wade was overturned. Birth control is somehow expected of women, difficult to get, and vilified all in one fell swoop. I grew up in a female-dominant household, and I thought I had a good grasp of women's rights. But man, America is fucked up. How expensive they are. And I don't mean high-maintenance women. I'm talking about the insane costs of bras, feminine hygiene products, makeup, special shampoos, conditioners, facial cleansers, etc. Some of which are obviously necessity. Some of which society puts pressure on them to use, conveniently advertised by the same company selling them at a ridiculous markup. The pink tax is real, and it's atrocious. Sometimes you have to get the big O. Some are more satisfied with the care and attention show during the journey as opposed to getting to the destination. Hence why foreplay is always important to them. I've had moments where something interrupted us both and I was concerned that I didn't make this woman come. But she expressed that it didn't matter and she still very much enjoyed herself. That you really, honestly, truly don't need to be a muscle-bound, meat-eating, football-watching, non-crying lunatic with a foot-long schlong. When women are describing the type of guy that they want, they're telling the truth. Granted, personal preferences on a case-by-case basis, but for the most part, they care more about the type of person you are, more so than your bank account or anything else extraneous. At least, this has been my experience. 10% looks, 90% attitude. Most real women aren't as vain as incels make them out to be. If you're a genuine and kind person with a decent sense of humor, you have everything you need to meet a great woman. Source, I'm 5'8" and I'm married to the girl in high school that I thought was miles out of my league. That she would non-stop clean everything all the time. So I don't know where anything is, lol. I'll take a drink of water from a new glass, go to the restroom, then come back looking for my fresh glass, only to see it in the dishwasher. Better than the opposite, though. How much fear a woman experiences that I would never even consider for a second. Going running at night with earbuds on? She would never. Women are told to keep an eye out for behavior or situations that, in all honesty, boys should have been taught to self-regulate or avoid instead, in my opinion. That they're messy. Every long-term girlfriend, including my wife I've lived with, and even those I flatted with, are extremely messy unless they have to be tidy. Like if we get visitors. It's all confined to 1 or 2 spaces though, usually the bedroom where they just throw shit everywhere or the bathroom, where they just have clusters of shit all over the place. Men can be dirty, like not shower for a few days, do yard work and get dirt everywhere kind of dirty, but women are messy. I never thought smelling pheromones was a human thing. I've always watched animal docs as a kid, and the animals can smell each other's scent. They get aroused by it. I found myself getting excited at my first girl smell. I have a strong sense of smell, so I can smell a woman's pheromones on different parts of her body, not just the vagina. I'm really sleepy, Reddit, so if this reads weird, I'll edit it later. The most beautiful and sweet thing anyone can do for a woman is buy her some Naprogesic when she's running low. I was cleaning out our medicine chest and noticed my wife was running low on Naprogesic, so when I went to the pharmacy to replenish supplies, I got her some more. When I told her, she broke down crying and told me it was the kindest and most thoughtful thing anyone has done for her in her life. Vaginas have a pelvis inside. Like, they're all soft and pretty on the outside, and you get inside and feel around, there's some enormous bone in there, and it's like, what the hell is that? And then you remember anatomy class, and it's like, oh yeah, that's a pelvis. They're selective memory. They might not remember what they ate the day before, but they remember exactly what you did or failed to do on June 3rd, 2008 at 16:15, and it will be brought up at some day in some form. Taking a shower is a whole saga that takes hours. Wait till it's scalding hot, shampoo and condition hair, which takes forever because hair is so long. Apply face wash. Clean every square inch and nook and cranny and orifice on their body. Shave both legs and armpits and wherever else. Tie hair up in a towel or blast with hair dryer. It takes so much goddamn time.